that players must be exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
They must be exhausted. Their mind will probably escape from them. We've seen this in LEC and even in Worlds, that players, when they go to 5 games, they start making more mistakes because they're not there anymore. They're really exhausted. So if that happens for the top of the top, Lachem, maybe this will happen here as well. This is now a matter of resistance and the will you have to move on in playoffs. Pyke, Veigar, yet again removed on the other side, just as you pointed out. Volibear brought way too much in the first 2 games, so he's going to be removed alongside with the Karma and the Yari. Hypercarry is not available, but I don't think they're going to go for that because they have other ideas.
Oh, like Viego, yeah, for example, taking him, hoping for some juicy resets available for you on the enemy team. But then looking at what we still have available, yeah, we can leave the bot, probably, stay there for some time. When it comes to the mid lane, things like Rising Cassiopeia are available. Some champions that can, again, build up to the late game and carry the team on their shoulders. Yeah, Cassiopeia does have shoulders, the upper part, human one, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit, confused.
It's only the legs, Solari. Only the legs are weird.
Weird. They are non-existent.
It's a land mermaid.
You can put it this way too. That's not Pantheon you're flashing there, but okay.
Oh, they didn't flash the Pantheon.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be detrimental for their plans. I'm just gonna say it. Everybody who won so far had to flash the Pantheon. I'm just saying, we still have Goof and Rottenbangi. They are still two who flash the Pantheon before they move on to the picks. Okay, Viego is in effect. The Gragas. We've seen the Gragas at the beginning of the day.
Oh, yeah.
It was massive, but it was versus Vangsted. It was Akers piloting the Gragas to begin with. They did an amazing job. Now it's Vangsted that has to do it. You have the hyper carry coming in for Fuyu as well, so team fight composition alongside with the Nautilus. Nautilus is 100% pick for Zimba every single time he has access to the Nautilus. Take him away. On the other side, though, I do believe he have to pick the AD carry. At this point, do you pick the Aphelios? Do you go back to the handshake hyper carry, or are you looking for something more spicy?
Something like maybe seeing Xayah again happening on the bot lane? Or maybe you want to completely change the way you're moving this game around. Okay, no AD carry being picked so far, but that is the Cassiopeia we've been just discussing a little bit earlier. Here she comes. But when it comes to the bot lane for Fløng, honestly, it would be so interesting to see if they could pick something like Kai'Sa on the bot lane. Because we've seen already some pretty interesting picks to the bot side. Kai'Sa could be the same approach, but also we've seen the champions being picked with versatility, so the champions that you can try to build in a different way. You can, build the different spots in the whole team composition. So here we could again follow pretty much the same logic, but that's just, one can dream about some things happen.
I would say you ban the Darius and you have a pretty good opening to pick the Nard. You are forced to blind pick into the top side, so might as well bring the Nard, a comfortable pick. It's really hard to counter the Nard in the top side unless you bring the Irelia, for instance, but I mean, you're versus the Gragas. Unless you shift the Gragas to the support, you know what you're playing against. And Nard can deal with the Gragas with no problem. You just need to be careful. There you go, the ban from the Nard to take him away. You don't want to leave that for Akers. Jace is still available, but so far with 100% lose. He lost 100% so far, so I don't think they're comfortable to pick that one. And they'll finally be forced to pick the AD carry. Unless they want to bring something spicy, I do believe they're going to pick the AD carry.
Most probably, yeah. But I'm just looking at the possibilities for the top lane. Just thinking about Camille for... Okay. That's AD carry pick, but that is still a pretty spicy one.
Goof is the hyper carry, and so far he is an hyper carry. He doesn't pick hyper carries. He is the hyper carry. So Vayne fits the equation so far for this team. You have a lot of anti-mobility for all the team fights. So why not bring the Vayne? It's hard to counter the Vayne specifically because you as a Jinx, you want to keep auto attacking. You excel at auto attack. If she goes invisible,
you cannot auto attack. Yeah, you cannot auto attack something that you cannot see, and that is where Vayne definitely has a very massive advantage against Jinx. But okay, wait.
And we don't even know if this is a Vayne AD carry, but the way Fløng have been playing, I don't know if this is a Vayne AD carry.
Think that could be Vayne mid lane still?
No, that could be a top lane. 99% sure this is an AD carry, but it's Fløng, so you never know. On the other side, I'll talk about what we already know. Lucent. It's Graga support.
Uh-huh.
I was expecting the flex, but it's a Graga support. And when you pick a top laner, like Camille or something like that, you throw a challenge.
Yeah.
And Vangsted accepted the challenge. I think they were thinking that Gragas would be a top laner, and they were like, "Oh, Camille is really good versus Gragas. We can deal with this. It's percentage HP they're gonna take."
Yeah.
Nope, switcheroo. This might have even be an adaptation in the middle of the champion select. They might have picked Gragas to the top side, but as soon as they saw the Camille, they were like, "Vangsted, do you want to carry? Because last game you got beat up by Akers. Akers demolished you on the top side. Do you want to go for this?" I guess he does, but he's really exhausted. 5 games to play Riven. Riven and Vayne as well, Solari.
That's the challenge. That's a double
And
challenge.
Cassio as well, yeah.
Yeah, that's a triple challenge. Ooh.
I would just say that Fløng are playing this like it was the first game of the day. Like, oh, we're fresh, man. We are fresh. I just had some tea. I'm really fresh. I'm gonna go for the hyper momentum, high APM champions. I'm comfortable with. No, this is the 5th game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not even that much about the draft at this point, to be honest. It's so far throughout these games, it hasn't been so much about the draft. It's been much more about the execution in the game. And here, definitely, that is the example. That is a very demanding thing the Fløng decided to go with. It's very challenging. It's not just a challenge for Lucent, it's a challenge for themselves as well. But if they manage to pull this off, they could do it graciously, and they could win this last game in a very fashionable manner.
I would say if you're going down, go down with all your weapons thrown at the enemy. Welcome
I like that. Yes.
to the last Summoner's Rift of the entire day.
Ooh.
Looking into the keystones, I don't see any sort of spice. I love the aftershock on Rodambangi. Are you gonna go for it, Vangsted? You know he's there. You know he's there.
No, he's not gonna go for it. No, he shouldn't.
Sedge.
It's come on, why?
Gonna stand up because this is a game that requires that. Yeah.
Ooh,
This is one of those games.
getting serious now. Okay.
Yeah, this is a serious one.
Okay. He's still doing it. He's still teasing Eggers and us and himself and everybody. But okay, fine. We're free from the teasing action. Good. Okay, yeah, the keystones all look pretty much in place. Nothing suspicious, to be honest. Nowhere so far, and no cheesy action from the beginning of the game. Could be the slow beginning, potentially just to warm up a little bit. But we're in the 5th game. You cannot really expect anything from these guys anymore. Yeah, talking about the slow beginning. Thank you, Vangsted, for proving me completely wrong.
Vangsted just did that through bond plating at level 1. Not only stacked the Conqueror, but he was capable of dealing all that damage. He's just waiting. Rest of the Undying is going to proc, so it's going to be an even trade. Shield, Darren Shield is available, so sustaining him as well. There's a health pot being used. Cookie is still available. And this is Errol Cassiopeia as well. This is not any Cassiopeia. This is Errol's Cassiopeia. So this could be an interesting one.
I mean, look at every lane. Oh, speaking of it, every lane could be very interesting. A lot
It's
of
the level
action.
2 engage. Rodambangi is going to be forced to flash away. Ignite is in effect, but he still has the elf pot, the cookie as well. And Gragas likes some cookies, so he's going to keep himself in a lane.
Oh yeah, that could get even more spicy on the bot lane as we hit level 3 pretty soon, because again, there is the hook coming from Nautilus, and there will be Chompus available for Jinx after that. So that combination could be a pretty powerful one, especially if somehow they manage to catch Goof into that hook from Nautilus. Oh, potential action on the top lane. Potential action, no action on the top lane. Oh.
He got through without revealing himself. Sonic Wave goes wide, and at the specific moment, he was finishing that blue buff. If only he got some sort of vision or even awareness of where it was. Look at this rotation instantly. They know they can do this. Akers doesn't have Elf Pot, doesn't have the cookie as well. Valor with Keyburst alongside with Broken Wings is giving advantage to Vangsted. This could be a 3-man squad diving on the top side. Syntax is available to teleport if he wants to protect him. They also have vision of Casapina. Edol is there, Miasma will follow. Miasma will slow him. Sonic Whip is there, following it through. This could be the first blood teleport instantly. You have to protect your jungler.
Ooh, yes. Oh, Akers actually managed to recall in the meantime, and he got back.
Look at the rotation, Tampa!
Yes!
The support comes in through to the mid lane. Shafty, you're low, and the mid lane's going to flash away. Glad even Syntax falls with through. The Death Laser is in cooldown. They want to go in. It's going to be first blood. He's going to die in the process. Yes, he does, but he's actually taking more gold out of this one.
Oh, yes, he is the hero of the day today. Taking down the first blood. Yeah, you spared the flash in the end, so your time in the mid lane could potentially be a little bit rough, especially if that fairy jungler decides to, see you again on the mid lane. But still, you managed to get some blood in your pockets, and that's what matters.
Did you just say some blood in your cookies?
I wanted to say some gold in your pockets, but apparently I said something completely different.
And I'm the one that is bad at cooking. No, I'm kidding. Level 6. As soon as we get access to those on the top lane, Blade of the Exile for Vangsted is going to be instantly used. And if Akers doesn't have his own ultimate to counter that away, the X-Tech protocol, I don't think he's going to survive. So whoever has access to level 6 is going to be in the lead on the top side. Also, have to take into consideration that Akers got himself some items to begin with, while Vangsted is still waiting for the teleport. The wave is in a weird position. This is not good for Vangsted. Yeah, there you go. Akers throws the thumbs up because he knows he can freeze this one.
Oh yes, and he's going to freeze the hell out of it. Yes, there is teleport available for Vanks, so he could return. Yeah, he will return quickly back, but he will need to walk pretty far, and he has absolutely no vision on the river. Currently, there was one ward in his own jungle, but now it's not available anymore, so if anybody decides to come to the top lane, he has absolutely no idea about it. Oh, he has the ultimate! He has the ultimate available!
And he has the Caulfield's Warhammer as well, so more AD, more ability haste, and instantly Edol is rotating to the top side. He still doesn't have the Petrifying Gaze, but now Akers is finally capable of countering that away. The Siege Minion is there. Oh, the Miasma was not thrown. Finally does it. Casapina is in danger, and Vangsted takes the kill for himself. Second one for Fløng.
Oh yeah, and the first one for that top lane for the Driven. And she had the assist before that. Okay, now he should be feeling very comfortable on the top lane. Yeah, there is the ultimate available now for Camille. But he can answer it, and you can just stand there and sustain if you need to, and it's a really good lane for you now. Bot lane looks completely different now with Fuyu taking down the turret plates, taking down some gold in his pockets, and actually being a little bit ahead versus Guff in terms of the farm.
Game is still a little bit shaky. The ultimate was used way too soon, so he forces the flash. Shafty is aware. I can revisit. I can go back. They are aware that Vangsted is in a good position to carry this one. Mentality is still alive for Vangsted. He wants revenge from the previous game, and they're throwing every single egg on the basket of Vangsted to make sure he's capable of carrying, putting the pressure on the side lanes. Nobody will be able to defend that. Syntax, even as a victor, unless you're forced to go for the crown, you will not be able to stop that Riven. Way too much mobility for that champion for you to throw a gravity field and protect yourself.
It's interesting enough how there is Camille on the top lane who has quite a lot of mobility in her hands as long as she's around the walls. But then you throw in that Riven to, completely outbalance the mobility on the top side of the map in your own advantage. There was supposed to be that looked like a potential gank on the mid lane, but nothing happened in the end. No kills happening so far. with so much attention from Fløng on the top, I am a little bit surprised to not see Lucent trying to reply more to that, thanks to getting the kills and getting the farm and getting every advantage that he needs in his pockets. Really, he is being unattended. He's trying to go for even more action without anybody trying to punish him for it.
Rottenbengi finally forced to move away from the bot side. So far we've seen him throughout the entire series moving across the map, trying to get any sort of advantage for his team, but at this point he was not being the one rotating. It was Zimba taking the lead on that note, and now we see the Gragas rotating. He's at level 5, leaving the Vayne by herself is not a good decision, which means he's at level 5. He will be, oh, tumble, not even the flash. Now he flashes away to stay alive, but he burns away Casapina's flash and also his ultimate. That's a little bit of a big timer if they're capable of using it. In 1 minute and 24 seconds, we will have access to the X-Tech, to the Dragon as well. So might be a good opportunity for them to go in as they're doing on Acres, forcing the hookshot. Wait, he coming back? Well, because he has protection coming in from the mid lane, but the Herald was dropped on the top side. Those are a lot of plays they're going to take in, and we'll look at the bot side. They're looking for the first start, but Fuyu almost securing it, but the Herald makes this way too easy. They're going to secure it by, oh, actually by a long time.
Yeah. No. The minions were not helping Fuyu at all on the bot side. He was going for the first strike, but no. That fight was lost by him, unfortunately. There is a Drake, the next Drake coming up very soon, 40 seconds, so we potentially could see more attention switching to the bot side of the map. But look at the state of the top lane. Look at Acres constantly having to defend his turrets. There is a constant push. Oh, yo.
He gets the hook, Shafty instantly flashes away, they know this, and Vangsted was capable of going back with the recall, already getting himself the gourd drinker at 9 minutes and 50 seconds, additional long sword, boots, control ward, and refillable potion. That's way too much gold on the Riven.
Yeah, how much gold did this Riven? Oh, thank you very much. That's a lot of gold she managed to put in her pockets. That's the most gold that anybody in both teams has. Look at the difference between the top laners in terms of the golds. It's absolutely...
Final hour, the 1v1,
wow.
Condemn is available, procs the heal, he's trying to fight this 1v1, the Condemn goes wide, which means he can win this one! Heal for heal, but then Terran deals the final shot! And Fuyu with the lead on the 1v1. This is not supposed to happen.
Yes, Goof did not, unfortunately for him, manage to find the angle to, try to pin Fuyu down to the wall. There is another fight that could happen right now. Yes, it's happening!
Banging with the belly. Casapina goes down. One jungler is still alive. As Zimba, what? He was stunned, but he doesn't get it. He looks in the eyes of the enemy. But in the end, it's a double kill for Lucent. They're looking for more, but Gragas takes the one with him. The triple kill comes in, but look at the Fed, man. Vangsted is on the bot side. Goof as well. Vangsted with the 500 IQ flash going across the map to actually get the flank. It doesn't matter because Goof got the perfect condemn, and the Dragon as well. They're looking really good for the soul, and unless Lucent is capable of bringing something out of that hat, I believe Fløng are in a really good position to win this one.
It definitely looks so. They are definitely trying to secure that possibility for themselves. Camel, 4 kills on Victor. Out of all 5 kills for your team, it sounds pretty dangerous to give 4 out of 5 kills. Wait, what is happening, Zimba?
Nothing is happening. Move on, Solani.
Okay.
We don't see this.
Thank you very much. So it might sound dangerous to give 4 out of 5 kills on your team into the hands of one specific man, but if you look at that man, that is Victor, that is Syntax. You know that Victor can use these kills to carry a whole team, and that is Acres, who will carry himself out of the fight apparently right now because he was close enough to the wall.
But at a cost of a flash, and Fuyu doesn't have his own flash. He lost it on the bot side. 3 members collapsing on him means instant death, as Zimba will follow through. The screen will go gray as well, as 8 kills out on the scoreboard, almost getting the double digits, and they're going to get closer to that one. Acres doesn't have a slash available, the ultimate is available, but Petrifying Grace is also dead. He's going to stop the hook shot away, and Acres is not capable of doing anything in this matchup. Fløng are just on top of them. Is this the double digit? Shafty looking for the Sonic Wave, doesn't connect. The Dragon goes wide. Oh, it's still a fight. I don't have time to breathe. As Syntax is dead. Gravity field alongside with the Chaos Storm. Perfect barrel there to try and give Shafty any sort of window. But the window closes in. It shatters in the hands of Casapina. And meanwhile on the top side, they're going to take the T2 away for Fløng. So they lose something, but they win another one in the process.
We are just 30 minutes into the game. Still the turret plates available. Still, you know, the game
my
looks...
lord!
Oh my goodness, that is
Let
the ultimate.
me breathe! Vangstead is across, not even close. Gets the keystone as well. Finally, 4 members collapsing on this ribbon. She got fed, so the bounty is online. And Akers gets revenge, as I do believe this is going to continue. As Rottenbangi, alongside with Goof, out in jeopardy. Finally, move on, Solari. Talk to me about everything.
I want to talk to you about so many things that are happening on the map right now. Again, 30 minutes into the game, almost 14, but look at how much everybody's grouping up already. We do not have the laning phase anymore. Yes, everybody's still trying to farm up, especially the Aries mid laners, but it is not time for you to stay on your lane and just try to farm up safely, you know. Everybody's grouping up and everybody's constantly looking for those skirmishes and fights here and there, the smaller, the bigger ones, because both team compositions, first of all, are, you know, out there to have the fights constantly, but secondly, everybody apparently is really eager to finish this one earlier this time. Maybe this time we're not going to be looking into a 40-minute game, because look at that, look at the pace of the game we're having. Already the mythic items falling in. Almost everybody has their mythic item available for them. We have people already having 3-4 kills on their hands. This is an extremely fast-paced game, and we keep going. Yeah, currently that is a breathing moment. That's why I'm talking out your own. Breathe in, breathe out. You know, it's your time to, or maybe don't get too relaxed, because I don't know what to expect from these teams anymore. The fights can start at any second, honestly. But yeah, everybody is having a little bit of moment right now, except for Shafty, because he is apparently taking the Herald. I can see it, but I think he was taking the Herald there.
Ooh, this is a Divine Sunder, so Akers is not that behind. He will be able to fight that on if he stays close to the turret to receive some sort of assistance. Another turret goes down. It's going to be the third one of the match. So far, only one for Lucent, as Akers is still fancying some sort of trade, but at level 11, Riven versus a level 10. This is not good for Akers, as Zim is there to help on that situation. The shield is way too soon, so Vanks has a window, but now spotting Fuyu alongside with Zimbo means we have to go back. We have to go back. And as he's pressuring the wound on the top lane, look at the dragon. He's going to respawn in 40 seconds. That could be the sole point in favor of Fløng if Lucent are not capable of finding that on.
I mean, they can do that pretty safely. They still have Riven, they still have Bankstead to stay in the top lane and put an immense amount of pressure there. But at the same time, they have the advantage on the bot side. Look at that with Errol having paying some attention to that outer turret on the bot lane. Rottenberg is also here using the Hex Flash up. Oh my goodness, look at the man.
He throws the member, but he was not expecting 3 members to be there. All of a sudden, Rottenbangi gives the lead of the dragon over to Lucent. I don't know if Fløng are going to fight for this one, but if they put too many members on this bot side, Lucent, Fløng will try to take the top turret with Vangsted. The 1v1 is still in favor of Vangsted. He can dive that one.
In a massive favor, to be honest. Akers keeps suffering under the turrets, even because he is not safe there.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He knows how to do it. The last hit, but the perfect touch is not enough. Vaxton with the 1v1 says that it's not even close, as Vayne is on the other side to provide assistance if needed, but it's not even needed. This one is in favor of Vangsted. This is revenge for the previous game of Gnar.
Absolutely. No, listen. Ooh. Hitting. Listen, absolutely urgently need to send somebody instead of Akers to do something with that Raven. Not just, you know, to deal with the Raven, but just to try to withstand that constant push that is happening on the top side of the map. Because it is pretty obvious that for Akers, he does not have enough sustain or damage to do something about Raven. She can very safely dive him under the turret and kill him immediately on the spot. It needs to be somebody else. Maybe even not one person. Sacrifice 2 people to send there, but just to stop that push. Because your top side is non-existent at this point, and you need to address it, because otherwise you will lose other sides very quickly.
He's trying to rush in the Death's Dance, but he's dancing with death because Vangstead already got himself access to Black Cleaver, so you will have no armor even if you want. He fails the jump, but it doesn't matter because he failed one moment. Protection, what are you doing? He failed one moment in 17 minutes of pure awesomeness, and you take it away like that.
You can make as many good moves as you want, but you make one single mistake and everybody will remember that. Yeah, and the production is there and he will make sure that everybody will remember that.
He was looking at him like, cancelled. There you go. Take the ribbon away. We got him, boys.
Oh my goodness. 18 minutes in the game, 8 to 10 we go. Ooh, the ratio of the kills to the time is actually perfect. Look at that. I wonder if we'll manage to keep it. Apparently we will. Ooh,
we cannot run away from that arena, but are you locked in? Yes, you are. Syntax with those kills. We've seen this before. If you give Syntax kills, he will use them aggressively. And they finally get the shutdown. So if the team is not making any sort of pressure, you're not allowed to split push that much.
Exactly. Right now they have the tool to actually apply their pressure because they have Jinx who could have been a hyper carry, but she did not get any sort of good early advantage. But Victor, and he's already starting to pop off, so use it. Send him towards the enemy, send him towards that Vangstead. Oh, that was a bonk in the end. Yes, that turret is barely standing there. But you know what else is barely standing there? Baron. He's not standing at all, actually. He's just very soon.
I was confused. Like, he's not standing over there. He's too soon.
Yeah,
he hasn't been called. His call time is at 20 minutes only.
Aww.
He's still taking a tea, enjoying life because he knows as soon as he comes into this Summoner's Rift, he's going to be a target.
Exactly.
And Vangstead is kind of menacing looking at him.
I mean, not just him, to be honest. Everybody's looking at him currently because with such a fast-paced game, if you manage to secure such an advantage of a big neutral objective, you can use it very quickly and very efficiently with very rapid push towards any lane. And if Fløng managed to get a hold of that, imagine what they could do. They already have one base turret absolutely open and available for them, and it doesn't look like Lucent are applying enough pressure on that side of the map to do something about it. They simply cannot go that far at the top side anymore. They will be caught there. Even with all the vision they're trying to put on the map, it would not be enough because they don't really have enough deep vision. Ooh, well, no, not getting caught here. So it's a very dangerous situation for them and they could lose a what?
Not even close. Banshee's Vel, but the problem is the follow-up. That's a shutdown. Fløng are throwing themselves to the machine.
Yes. That is...
We talked about this, Solari.
Yes.
Mental. They're tired. But Vangstead doesn't seem like that. It's going to take this 1v2 with no problems, but there you go. They're losing concentration. They had the game in their bag. Solari, they're throwing themselves against the cogs, and the cogs are splitting them bone by bone.
Oh, that's another moment that we definitely saw. But yes, my friend, I know, and I see it, and it is definitely happening. 11-10 we go. The difference is not that big anymore. The Baron is still standing. And again, with this pace of the game, first of all, you cannot allow yourself to lose the pace. You cannot allow yourself mistakes. And secondly, you take the objective, you can still turn the game around, so go there, teleport there, don't try to do something
about it. This is our first 5v5 and Syntax is going to get caught. He's the one that needs to survive, and he's down. The damage from Lucent is down. Meanwhile, Little is trying to keep himself alive, but there you go, Cassiopeia, the snake is dead, and Casapina is just taking the resets by resets. Fuyo gets excited, but look at Vex! The ribbon comes in clean and does the madness. How can you stop this onslaught? The weapon is broken, and Vangst is broken as well as he takes a triple kill. He looks at the Baron and screams, "Are you next?"
Apparently, my friend, the Baron is next, and he knows about it. Casabina is around, but can he do something? Can he really go in and try to steal? I don't think he can, and he's still trying, but Vangstead is here. He's fishing for him. Teleport's coming in.
Oh, Syntax goes below half HP, the laser kills him, the Baron is dead, they sacrifice the life of Riven, but they take the Baron nonetheless. Goof and Shafty thinking about it, but they don't want to do it. Now, do you run straight to the dragon and slow down the bleeding? Or do you give it away to Fløng?
No, you don't give it away to Flunk. You don't want to also have to deal with a soul point, potentially. No, you go to the dragon, and that is exactly what's happening. And Flunk are not even trying to fight for the point. Yeah, it's just a second dragon fold. You can just take it. It's yours. It's granted to you. Now, 14-14 we go. Look at that stat.
Yep.
And out of these 14 kills on side of Lucent, 7 of them, so half of them are still in the hands of Victor, which is good thing for Victor, but bad thing for the rest of the team, because what we saw in the fight at the Baron Pit, if you take down the hyper carry with the most kills in the enemy team, they have no absolute damage unit in their hands anymore, and you take down the team, especially if you send in Vangston and tell him, hey, take them down. He is very happy to do so, honestly. He has 5 kills in his hands, not as much as Victor, but it's more than enough for that Riven to absolutely shine.
I don't know if you joined just now, you guys at home watching this. This is a best of 5. We're at the 5th game. This has been bloody every single game, going to plus 30 minutes. I'm exhausted, but that falls into comparison to what the players are feeling. They're exhausted as well. But they're still pulling through. They know they have this opportunity to push themselves in playoffs. They know they can rise across that losers bracket. Whoever wins this one will fight off versus Lightside. We're sitting and waiting as Shafty goes in for the kick. They want to kill Syntax, but I believe Vax bite the bullet. He's going to go down way too fast. They die for no reason at all. They had the Baron. They had to time it. They are exhausted. I keep saying this. And it's in full effect. Now Gragas is going to get stunned. Body slams across the wall. And Goofy, now with the Baron buff, is just slowing down what is happening on the bot side. Because this is going to be a push from Lucent. If they don't kill Syntax, there's no way they're going to win this.
Yeah, that's why they try to go for Syntax, but currently Lucent understand very well what exactly is the main focus for the enemy team, and what do? They protect their hyper carry at absolutely all costs, and hyper carry stays alive, and everybody in the enemy team who tries to go for him dies immediately on the spot. That is what you need to do if you manage to feed most of the kills in your team into one champion. You protect them and you let them shine, making sure they stay safe and alive, what's most important at all times. So, what do we do with this information? There is still a Baron buff available, but it should be wearing off pretty soon, and not much. Yeah, exactly. It's gone now. 2.5 minutes before the next dragon is going up. Not seeing on any soul points. Could be soul point for any of the teams with the next dragon coming in. And then in 2 minutes, more than 2 minutes, yeah, we're going to have the next Baron. Yeah, I got a little bit confused with the numbers. It happens.
This is
sometimes.
a 30-minute plus game, Salati. This is a 30 minutes plus. Yep, there you go. Woo! Okay, get ready. Even though this is a 16-14 lead in favor of Lucent, they are still behind almost 5,000 gold. It's close. It is most about 4,000 gold, but it's still a lead in favor of Fløng. They've been throwing themselves against the cog machines, and they're falling. They're falling prey to wanting to finishing it way too soon. You have the Cassiopeia.
Yeah.
You have the Vayne. You have the Riven. You have the late game. They're forcing the early.
The issue is that yes, they were forcing the early, but it didn't really result in the early end. 26 to almost 27 minutes into the game, and we're still going. Yeah, still going. If you just look at the map, Fløng have all the advantage. They have proceeded much more on the lanes, especially at the top side of the map with bot side. They're still struggling. They're still trying to get that inner turret for quite some time now, and did not manage to take it down. Still stands, but now you need to recalculate what you do on the map. You need to focus less on just pushing forward as much as you were doing in the early game, and try to shift your attention towards winning more on a macro scale, because you still have the major objectives you can play around. You can play around the soul point you could get for yourself, and what's most important, the next Baron. And from that on, you could try to force the team fights with the enemy team, because you still have Vangsted on your team, and if you manage to send him or something like Shafty towards Syntax to delete him before the fight even starts, you can have it in your hands. So it's complicated. Yes.
It's complicated, but vision now in favor of Flong. Look at the vision they have throughout the entire enemy map.
Ooh.
Specifically when the dragon is about to show up. They see this ward, they can cancel that one, but what about the other one? That's it in control ward. On the side of Lucent, it's a dark map. It's a dark future as well. You don't know what's about to happen. And Shafty extends that lead in terms of vision once more as they secure themselves the third dragon for them. Super Mega Depth Rocket is going to reveal that they're doing it. Yes, we are, my good sir, but we still take it nonetheless. 4 minutes and 55 seconds until what could be the last elemental Drake before the big one appears. And I know it's a Cloud Drake. We have a lot of memes, yada yada. But also, if you give the Cloud Drake to a Riven, she's going to be fast when she pops that R. When you do it to a Lee Sin, he's going to be fast after the kick. Errol as well as the Cassiopeia and the Vayne with the final hour. Every single one of them is going to use this one effectively. One thing that people forget about is when you have the soul, when you have 4 dragons, that's almost 3,000 gold you have in stats. Regardless of the stats, whether you like them or not, it's still 3,000 gold in terms of lead. And they're ahead by 4,000 gold. If they get themselves that, you're getting close to the 10,000 if they can push it a little bit further. So that is a big lead, as Syntax is going to steal away the ground.
He's a stealer, somebody's a thief, but he's very happy with himself, apparently. Another thing that Cloud's soul could bring is actually it will open the possibility of the Elder Drake, and it looks like we could actually see the day when this will happen on this map, and then it could be a major objective to fight for. But currently there is another major objective on the map, the Baron himself, and tension around him is very high because Flong need him to further on their advantage they already have on the top side of the map, and to try to finally do something about the bot lane as well. Lucent needed to turn the game around in their favor. Everybody needs it, everybody needs to fight for it. Where do you decide to hold the fight for it? That's a question, because if you decide to go for the fight in the Baron pit itself, it's such a good opening for Vangsted, but also it's such a good opening for Syntax as well. So, tricky.
I want to bring a subject before the next big fight. The idea that Syntax went straight up for the Lich Bite because he knows he's going to fight up versus melee. On the other side, Goof already has the Ginsu, the Phantom Dancer, and the Guardian Angel. So take a look at this fight. She's going to pop off, and this team fight. Baron is secured. They start the fight. Rottenbangi is the first target, already depleted. Shaft is also getting low. They get the Baron. What do they get in return? Goof, the final hour is now. He knows how to deal with this. And Vangsted, alongside with Goof, are making a beautiful performance. The double kill comes in for the Snake, but it doesn't matter because only one member is alive. Solari, 30 seconds of timers. This could be it.
Oh, it looks like it is it, Asherim. It looks like it is it going towards through the mid lane, not looking about anything else at this point anymore. The turret has to go down, the inhibitor has to go down, and then it doesn't matter what the timers are anymore. Just 2 turrets more, and you're done, and you take the game, and you proceed to the next stage, to round 2. And yes, they are doing it!
Next one down, the cooldowns are just not there. The Nexus as well, Vangsted, Goof, Errol, Rottenbangi, and Shafty make it through with Flong. For the first time, they're able to secure themselves a victory versus Lucent.
Whoa, 3-2 in the end. Oh my goodness. What a series it was, and what a game to finish the series it was. But we get one winner in the end, and huge congratulations to Flong, because that was one way to win this thing, definitely. Oof.
Well, there you go. Flong manages to pull itself through after a menacing, I would say, series versus Lucent. They almost did it with the Vanguard alongside with the Pike. It was working wonders. As soon as they lost that, they got, well, pushed against the wall. And let's look into the last fight to see what happened.
Because a lot happened, to be honest. The Baron was taking
Vangsted.
Yes, I have my eyes on Vangsted. He's... Ooh, that's a beautiful slow-mo that we're getting. Oh my goodness, jumping. Oh, two... Help.
And if you see him, Vangsted is the menace, and meanwhile Goof is just auto-attacking, and no one is stopping the Vayne. I talked about the items. She had the perfect items to fight this one. And Vangstead, alongside with Goof, did an amazing job. Obviously, the rest of the team was there, but they weren't in the perfect carry positions, and that was more than enough. I mean, you should just give away the Baron when you see a Riven and a Vayne with that positioning, but they wanted to fight, they wanted to take their stand, the final stance. There you go, that's more than enough to pull itself through. That was a long day, by the way, Salati.
Yes. You don't have to tell me, definitely, but I think for the players it felt like even a longer day, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
They had to go through this absolutely amazing fight, and as much as we love to see them, it must be really hard to go through them as the player and as a team.
Yeah,
but what a joy did we have in the end.
It was a joy to cast this series, obviously, but we're going to toss it to a small break before we have the opportunity to interview the victory. The victor, I don't know who is going to be taking the spot, but we'll tell you soon enough. I'll see you in a few seconds.